Mr. Deputy Speaker, firstly, me rebutting this notion by member for Medang that leadership starts in Parliament. That is not true. Leadership starts at home. Me too, rebutting this debate by member for Kandep also, reforms will change gender-based violence, or education will change gender-based violence. Mission of Loyana, me talk, and on behalf of my people of VANIMO Green River electorate, na Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture. Mr. Deputy Speaker, looking back in time, our uncivilized society was more civilized than ours, the civilized world. You meet in also 50 years on, as people go inside the civilized world now, high level of education, and by sensing it. But now you look, there is a total moral breakdown, societal breakdown, discipline problem, mentality and attitude usually in the country. And Mr. Deputy Speaker, I like starting also. Last week, 81 members of Parliament voted on Christian bill. So we have to go back to the why system of before where you look at the education, we only look at the access to the Bible, and we function well. And now you may get access to the Bible, you may declaring you may also a Christian country. But our attitude, our behavior is far from us being a Christian country. What has gone wrong? Firstly, let's go back to creating a foundational biblical principle. Book of Ephesians, chapter 21, you're going up long. Chapter 5, verse 21, you're going up 33. Let me talk out very clearly and explicitly. Now, me read him, I'm talk also, verse 22, now you go. Wives, be subject to your husbands as to the Lord. For husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church. His body and his self is the Savior. So let wives also be subject in everything to the husbands. In the ancient times where our ancestors and our forefathers, there was a clear principle of wives submitting to their husbands. And there was hardly any gender-based violence. Because women played their role in the homes. Women also must play an equal part to creating peace and harmony in the family setting. Something always creates something. But that doesn't mean that we men take advantage and abuse our wives, abuse women. But rather respect them, respect our wives, respect our women for the sacrifices that they make in our homes and to making sure our household is happy. I strongly condemn any form of gender-based violence, not only against women, but also against men. In some parts of our country, especially the region that I come from the city, women are much more tougher than men. They go up belting their husbands as well. So when we advocate for gender-based violence, we must also speak to maybe 1% of men folks who suffer from violence by their wives or by women. But in the greater outlook, what has gone wrong in our society? What has really gone wrong? Why the system back then operated so well and it's not operating in our time the way we want? I believe it's to do with our mentality, with our attitude. We are so educated, but we are very uncivilized. We are more uncivilized than our forefathers. That is why advocating for Christian principles back in our family unit is so important. Disciplining our children. Stop this notion of bringing Western culture into our culture. Oh, no can fighting picnic you no time you like discipline him. No, we have to discipline our kids. You mean you can bring in passing the white man come to society blue. You may speak as a culture minister. We must uphold our traditions and our cultural values. Our cultural values must now be taught back in the schools. Today, I tell you, some of our kids don't know how to speak their own language. They don't know their culture, their traditions. We are creating a lost generation. We are creating a boombox generation, a marijuana generation, a steam generation. So we go back to the foundational biblical principles if we are talking about gender against violence against women. Women, you must play equally your part in the home. So you gain respect from your husband. And your husband will reciprocate. You know, we talk about control measures. We talk about law and order issues. We talk about enforcement of laws. We talk about creating new laws. I agree with member for Wabeck. There is no need to create new laws. The laws are there. What's lacking in our country is enforcement of those laws. And yes, I do agree. Our women folk are always at the receiving end because they are weak part of our society. But if we create the cultural values, our traditional values back in our small family units, I believe, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we can change the mindset of our children, the mentality of our children, the level of respect that they will give to their parents. Even the kids today do not respect their parents because we are adopting the Western culture. Why are some Asian nations, the Arab nations, still all high cultural values, and you do not see lawlessness in those countries? They are Muslims, they are Hindus, Buddhists. They have that cultural values, that respect. because we do not practice it at home. Stop this adopting the Western cultural values into our country. Let's go back to our cultural values that exist. Then you will see the change in the mindset of our people, the mentality of our people. Hence, the leadership doesn't start in the floor of parliament. The leadership starts back in the family units, back at our homes. When we educate our kids well, when we discipline them before the primary school, people are picking and walking biget. Teacher sa kisim rula na paidihan mipla. Teacher sa kisim kanda na wibi mipla. To tell us that what we were doing is wrong. And that was the only way to develop a disciplined individual. So we can come here and debate all we like, but if we don't go back to our cultural values, and then with our country now pronounced clearly as a Christian country, and practice the Christian values, we can debate all we like, and we'll just waste our time on the floor of Parliament. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I would like to make certain observations and maybe make recommendations to the floor of Parliament as we go forward. As we reach 50 years, how do we change as a country? I see in a lot of social media, women being tortured because there's a suspect of sorcery. And we have not taken any action against those people. We have not even arrested one. First, let's establish order at home. Women, if you are listening today, while we are advocating for you, go back to your homes and read Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21 to 33. Understand the meaning of that and do your part as a wife. Then you will get the same respect from your husband. It will be reciprocated.